So I'm a firm believer in the power of habit and routine because our brains literally have the natural tendency to just automate repetitive behaviors. And we basically work in patterns and structures even if we're not conscious of it, which is kind of crazy to think about. But today I wanted to present to you a framework that's going to help you introduce a learning routine. And for this, you will basically need a timer, resources that you enjoy and that you can understand. And this can be anything from YouTube channels to shows, books, articles, whatever. And optionally, pen and paper. So apart from understanding how important it is to have a routine, I've also come to realize through experience how important having input is in order to generate language, but I also understand how hard it is to produce language. That's why this routine will be focusing more on input, but at the same time, we will be training our brains to be more active, which is very important for learning a language. So this framework is divided in 3 different levels, and the first level consists of 15 days. So for 15 days, you will be dedicating to your learning 15 minutes every single day. In this 15 minutes, you will allocate 13 minutes to input and 2 minutes to output. And you don't have to do this routine necessarily seated in front of a desk. So just to give you an example of how this routine may be structured, every single day I have to take the metro and then walk for a couple of minutes. So in the metro, I am listening to a podcast, and I really like the combination of listening while you're reading. So while I'm listening to the podcast, I'm also reading the transcript. And then during my walk, I just talk to myself about the podcast. Like I literally pretend to be sending a voice message, or I record my voice in order to also see the progress as I'm going through my journey. I would highly suggest that you track your progress just because for me it helps a lot with the motivation. Like I like seeing how I crossed my notebook and see that like piling up. And one thing that is important to understand about this framework is that you cannot go to the next level unless you've been 100% consistent every single day. So for 15 days, you have to be 100% consistent. That is, for 15 days in a row, you have to have studied 15 minutes every day. So let's say that you've been consistent for 14 days in a row, but then the last day it's your sister's birthday and you missed that day. You have to go back to day 1. You cannot go to the next level. I will explain in a minute why this is so important, but just be 100% consistent, okay? 15 minutes for 15 days, 13 minutes of input and 2 minutes of output. So once you've been 100% consistent for 15 days, you can go to level 2, which consists of 30 days of dedicating 13 minutes to learning every single day. For 25 minutes, you will be focusing on input, and for 5 minutes, you will be focusing on output. And again, it may be whatever input of your choice, listening, reading, whatever, and whatever output of your choice. Sometimes I think in the language for a couple of minutes, and that's also output. You can speak to yourself, you can write something about the podcast or the video that you just watched. It's the same rules as level 1, but just 30 days and 30 minutes. And again, in order to go to level 3, you have to complete this level with 100% consistency. If you get to day 25 and for some reason you couldn't do day 26, you have to go back. Only until you're 100% consistent with every day, you can go to the next level. I know I'm being very repetitive with this, but it's really important because we're building up a skill that all successful learners have, which is consistency. And once we've been 100% consistent with level 1 and 100% consistent with level 2, we get to the last level. And this level is 1 hour for 30 days. So you will dedicate 45 minutes to input and 15 minutes to output. Now, completing these levels may take someone 2.5 months approximately if they do it on the first try and they're 100% consistent and they don't miss a day. But for most people, this is going to require multiple attempts. And that's okay. What I want you to get from this is that we're building up some very important skills that's going to help you throughout your learning journey. So the whole reason behind this little experiment is that you acquire the skills needed to be a successful learner. For me, there is no such a thing as getting stuck in a level. The whole reason I want you to stay in the same level is just so you understand that if you cannot do 15 minutes every single day for 15 days in a row, you're not going to be able to do 1 hour of learning for hopefully the rest of your life. And I say 1 hour because to me, 1 hour seems pretty doable no matter how busy life gets. Maybe sometimes just 30 minutes or whatever, but 1 hour to me, it's like the sweet spot if you want to learn a language. So what happens after you complete these 3 levels? Well, hopefully you will have integrated the habit of having a routine. So you should think of this as a marathon. Like you're training for a marathon. You cannot go from one day to another and try to run 3 hours every single day. You have to train for that. And most importantly, you have to start somewhere. What we're trying to do here is picking up different abilities. Like for example, the art of showing up. It's very important to have the discipline and consistency learning a language requires. Some days you will not want to do it and you will still have to do it if your motive is strong enough. Then another skill that I really need more of and then I'm working on is patience. As you see, we're going very gradually from 15 minutes to 1 hour. We build step by step. And lastly, we're also working on self-awareness. Like it's very important to understand how you work. So what happens after you've completed these 3 levels? Well, after completing this, you're able to ask better questions like, why can I not dedicate 1 hour every single day to my learning? What's hindering me from having a consistent routine? What is the pattern that I keep repeating? Because, that's why I also wanted you to play a bit with like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, and then to get to understand how you work. Because it's, sometimes life gets busier, okay? Like there are different seasons in life and I've definitely been through those, but it's your duty as a learner to understand what kind of situations you're going through and what you can put on your plate. And it's your duty as a learner to still be able to be as consistent as possible with whatever life offers you. So I hope you integrate the routine you need. I hope this helped you somehow, and I will see you in the next one.